everyone, welcome to my YouTube video. Thank you so much for clicking this video and I hope you enjoy. Today I will be doing a makeup tutorial, somewhat New Year's inspired since that's what's coming up, but just honestly a nighttime glam look. Something that I personally always like doing. One of my signature looks, if you will. So to get started, I have this Wet n Wild foundation I like to use. This is a drugstore foundation. I used to use like a Too Faced, Born This Way, or honestly like a Lancome foundation. But I found like this one, again, when you're balling on a budget, works really well. And it's in the shade Cream Beige, and it's the Dewy Foundation, Photo Focus. Alright. So what I like to do is take a little bit on the back of my hand and then I get my beauty blender. Now I will say my beauty blender has been through a lot, so ignore the back side of it. It works amazingly. And I'll be looking into this mirror right here to be getting a good finish. So you know what? My technique that I like to do is to hit the darkest spots of hyperpigmentation that I have. Since that's something, I have acne prone skin. I've been on Accutane before. I was on it for 6 months last year, I believe it was. And I guess naturally, you know, over time, since you have, you know, ups and downs in life, you know, stressors, things like that, hormones, still, you know, developing into my full adult body. I'm 23, by the way. Sometimes you get flare-ups. I will say I'm open to doing a second round, who knows, but for now I like to see what I can do naturally. It worked wonders though, so there'd be no doubt in my mind to want to do it again. So as you can see, I like to go in and add more and more, just kind of like spot treat it really. And then just working my way around my face instead of solely one area. I've kind of neglected my nose, but your nose can pack on products so quick, so I think that's just naturally the way you'd probably want to go when you go and apply your makeup. And be sure to hit, obviously, those edges of your face. You don't want to leave like a line of foundation, of course. You want it to blend seamlessly into your skin tone. And as you can see, obviously it's a lighter amount, kind of like the residue of the foundation left in the sponge. And that will give you that natural finish you're really looking for. I never go fully to my neck. I kind of feel like that's overkill because this is a pretty good match for my skin at the moment. But if you know, if it works for you, then by all means go ahead. So basically I had already recorded doing the beginnings of my base and then my camera battery died on me. Was it fully charged? No, but that's okay. We have the iPhone. And what I did was a makeshift setup on my tripod. So this is perfect. And shout out to my sister for letting me borrow her ring light. So enjoy the setup. I have some fun, groovy lights going on. My name in the back. What else could you want, you know? Fun little gym fit, you know? You know what I'm saying? So let's jump back into this. I'm going to do my best to do this in one take. God willing. So let's go ahead. So far, as you can see, I have the base, and what I did originally was really building up on the layers where I have the most hyperpigmentation. So I'm going back in with another layer, and the reason I'm going in heavier with this, because it's a night look, I want it to also look, you know, photo perfect, you know? So once you get some great images, it'll just look amazing. You can see you have some extra hyperpigmentation on my cheek areas. My skin has just acted up more recently than ever. And so let me go ahead and continue blending that to the edges. And if you ever catch me looking off camera, this is just me looking at this mirror right here to kind of get an idea of how it's all blending. So while I'm doing that, and you know, if you're following along, go ahead and add as much or as little foundation you need. Even honestly, when I want like a lighter coverage, I usually do a tinted moisturizer or like a CC cream. And so those are always nice. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more in the back of my hand because we are going for that glam, baby. We are going for a full glam. Now, lashes, that's a hit or miss. We will see. I normally don't do lashes, and I know that would be considered like the full shebang of glam, right? But I'm lucky enough to have lashes that I really do like how they look once I just have a few layers of mascara on them. But again, this is a very customizable look. You do whatever, you know, speaks to you and sets your heart on fire. So as you can see, I honestly avoid the eyebrow area, but obviously you get, you know, like as close as you can around it. Even if you get on there, it doesn't really matter. Okay, time for concealer. Me looking for my concealer. So I use the Maybelline Super Stay up to 30-hour concealer coverage. So this one, I want to say it's pretty brightening. I'm just going to apply it to the edge of the upper half of my cheeks, if that makes any sense. And then I also go ahead and I add it in, as you can see, under my nose. See, when you're doing like this base layer, it's very much, you know, it looks a little, you know, wild, right? But like real makeup people know, this is the beauty of the process. Whenever I go quiet, I'm just focusing. So if I'm ever quiet for a long, extended period of time, I will add some fun noises and sounds or music or so. Royalty free, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just add this right here. I normally don't add much more underneath, but you know, today let's get crazy and add like a little bit. Just a little bit to like extra brighten that area. Again, I'm going heavy-handed today. And I will say looking in the camera is a lot different than doing it in person. So again, like viewer discretion advised. You do what works for you. Normally I do have like a compact mirror in front of me and I'm just applying it to those areas. So T-zone. I don't do too much on my forehead. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like then it gets too bright. And honestly, if you want to shrink the appearance of your forehead, I found that don't emphasize it. Don't even waste your time. Now, this can be the fun part if you want to do some cream contour. I actually realized I want to cover up my hyperpigmentation on my cheeks. These cheeks. Let's see. And can I be honest? I just want to have fun around here. I don't want to be, you know, super cautious about what I say or anything. I'm just going to be my full authentic self. Growing up, I always, you know, had to kind of watch my words. It was like walking on eggshells. So having this freedom to truly say and be and do what I want is amazing. So now, as you can see, I am blending out the foundation, the concealer in my T-zone and now on my eyelids. I didn't explain every single place that I put concealer, but you know, T-zone, eyelids, places you just want extra coverage, really, extra brightening. Is it necessary? I honestly don't think it's necessary all the time. It's kind of just if you want that extra like high impact glow. Like you can see, like if you get close, do you see that? Right now we look really juicy and wet, and like that's what you want, really. And again, blend out any settling that the foundation concealer may have done into your fine lines. So we all have them, forehead wrinkles and things. I think I got an eyelash into my eye. I have my dog here and he's trying to mess with the tripod stand. Toby, no Bubba, no, don't mind him. He is 11 months now, so he's a little baby. He's very curious. He's, you know, just licking on that thing, licking on the tripod stand. And this is me trying to use the very last of my Wet n Wild Photo Focus loose setting powder, you know, because I hate letting a product go to waste. Sorry to make so much sound, but. And I will say, in case I don't include the very first clip of me, you know, doing my foundation with my camera, this was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation that I used in the dewy cream beige shade. So, just for the record, in case anyone wants it, I'll link products in the description as well. Let's see. I think it's done with. I think I'm taking a look. I think that's all she has left in her. But guess what? I have a second one. Because I'm prepared. I'm not going to let one just run out. Nope. The second, same exact thing. Now, is it dusty all over? Yes, it is. I'm just going to go ahead and I like to tap it on the... I'm going to transfer what I had from the last one into the lid of the other one. And then we're getting rid of the old one. All right. So... I'm going to transfer like a good amount, like go crazy with it, get it all over the place, you know, just like bake everything. Okay. What I like to do too is go back, reblend into places that may have settled into fine lines and areas, creases, whatever you want to call them, right? Blend that all out. So you have a perfect, flawless base. And then immediately I try to go as quick as possible. Bake it in, make the faces, do what you need to do, just set every area. All right. Am I allowed to sing songs that I have in my head? I don't want to get copyright striked since this is my first time doing these kinds of things, but like, if only you knew the things I would want. I sing a different song like every 5 minutes. Every minute maybe, actually. Just something different always pops up for like a different occasion. And singing certain song lyrics just really amplify that feeling. Makes things great. Okay. I'm going to get close and show you guys where we're at. Do you see how much more mattified that looks? Now, sometimes, I mean, depending on if you want like a dewier look, you can set your cheekbone. You know how that's kind of nice? But like you don't want it on your T-zone because then it's going to make you look, you know. It's going to make you look like me after a long, oily day, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, like for right now, we want that clean matte set up, right? Ooh, especially set any areas with more, you know, more any scars or things, you know. And sometimes I'll even go in with a little more concealer after because that builds up coverage. Okay, let me go back under my eye. Okay. Oh, yeah. I really get into this, man. You don't even know. So, I want to also talk about myself while I'm doing these tutorials, just to like, you know, let you guys into my life a little bit. I had recently gone back into like a rabbit hole. Before I actually keep going, you want to brush off any excess powder for a smooth look. And even places you didn't fully like set, you know, and like set the powder, leave it to bake, you kind of like blend it into those areas for like a seamless matte. And even here it still has that glow without looking too matte, and that's perfect because we kind of just so lightly ran the powder on that area. And right now, yes, the shade is kind of, I mean, my hand is not even a good example. I'm very like, I'm pale in random areas, tan in others, but anyway, it's looking a bit pale. Now, I did not cream contour. Sometimes if I want to get extra wild with it, I do. But honestly, nah, not today. Not today. You'll catch me another time, but not today. So, this makes me so excited. I love doing this. This is so exciting. Like, talking to myself, doing my makeup, talking to y'all, like, yeah, okay. Okay. And this brush, I had put some rubbing alcohol on it, and that's a big no-no, right? I think it usually is. But I want to do a quick disinfecting, and I'm just kind of like making sure it gets fluffy again. So you can kind of tap that brush. I'm beating the devil out of it, as, you know. Why was I going to say Bob Saget? He did not say that. Sorry for even saying his name. Bob Ross. Bob Ross, that's the guy. That's the Bob we want. Not SpongeBob, not Bob Saget. Bob Ross. So, beat the devil out of it. Have it ready to go. Just nice and fluffy. This is a Sephora brush. I've had this forever, 2 years, and it's never done me wrong. God forbid. It's so good. So, it's the Pro Featherweight Powder Brush. 91. In case you want the specifics, you know. These are for my makeup lovers, my get ready with me lovers, makeup tutorial lovers. We're here to hang out. We're here to have fun. Got the lights going. It's a party, you know. Me and my dog here. So what you want to do next, and I talk so much, so I'm like slightly out of breath. You're just going to have to, you know, just know that that's something that's so common with me. I'll do my best to, you know, contain my breathing, but this is what you want to do. So I use the Too Faced. Oh my gosh. It's the chocolate bronzer. I forget the exact name since I've used this so much. And this is like my second one ever that I've ever bought. And I got into makeup originally at like, I want to say 14, 15. It wasn't that early on. Like it's early, but some people, you know, nowadays it's like a little earlier. Not gonna go too much into that. That's not the realm I'm trying to get into. But so this is where it's at right now. As you can tell, it's well loved. It's such a good, look at my set. Can you kind of see my setup in here? Yep. That's me right now. Okay. So what you want to do is pack it into the brush. Not too much, because then you might get like a streak. You put it into the brush, you know, pack a good amount, as you can see. I kind of, you know, fold the brush a little like this. You can get a really good contour angle. And I honestly go above. I go like at the top of my cheekbone because I kind of have this, I don't know what to call it. I don't know if I should call it like a Roblox-esque, Minecraft-esque. It's not fully square. It's just a very prominent jaw. And even then you want to like, you can contour that too. I love my jaw, but sometimes the jaw, especially once I put on all that makeup, it really, you can see my face is all flattened out, right? But like once I'm already adding this contour, look at the difference. I think I already had some over here, so actually never mind. I should have done one side. I'll do that for the next time if I'm ever doing a side-by-side comparison. Okay, this is the part where if you want to snatch up that forehead, right? And honestly, I think I have a pretty standard forehead. If anything, it even might be, no, it's like 4 fingers, yeah. Even if you're a 5 or 6 finger girl, like, and like, you know what I mean? This helps. So what you want to do is just continue kind of like, do you see how I'm like building up that bronze? This isn't even a contour powder. This is a bronzing powder, but I use it to contour because it brings back that warmth into my face that we all took away with the concealer and the foundation. It's honestly foolproof. It's perfect. It's what you want. Now, I guess depending on your skin tone, that's also like, you know, that's up to you. It's up to your discretion of what works best for you. But for me, that's what I like to do. Should I get further back again? I'm kind of like, I slowly, oh, do you see that in the mirror? You see that right there? You see, like, yep. Thanks, guys. I've been really putting in the work. And it's been, I want to say 3 or 4 years that I started going to like a legitimate gym. And I'm going to go ahead and also contour my nose here as you watch. I'm kind of trying to explain stories while doing this. So what I like to do is also pinch this brush, same brush. We don't need too many brushes around here. It's a little too much to work with. Too high maintenance, but we love some high maintenance. Nothing wrong with that. You don't want to get too, overwhelmed with so many different brushes. You don't need all that. You don't need to stress yourself out. You just need to go ahead and carve out like the tiniest nose you can make, but realistic. Be realistic with yourself. Your nose is beautiful the way it is. Like, whatever you want to do to it, do it, right? I'm an advocate for doing whatever makes you truly happy. But you can really snatch up and like really just beautifully showcase all the features you were born with. Like, again, like I have this like, this head here that's very, it's prominent, but like I like it. It's strong. Embrace what you're given. Okay. So I'm going ahead and going back and snatching up the edges. Like, I want to say my best makeup takes layers. It takes a lot of layers. So that's what you want to do. You want to continue building up that depth, going back in, tapping more and more on the areas you want to truly more define, define more, to rephrase that statement. And I'm going in and making that button nose effect. I'm going to get close. You can't truly see it on camera, but you want to go just slightly over like the tip of your nose. Carve like an upside down triangle, if that makes sense. That's what I like to do. Again, since the light is bright, I'm over here like elbowing everything. Don't worry about that. Since the light's bright, you can't fully see, but in person, you don't want it to look crazy, right? Like, trust me, if it looks heavy on camera, it probably looks heavy in person. So I'm going for that really nice, like it'll look more natural in person. As natural as obviously, doing these layers and things goes. But like we all know, makeup's so fun and beautiful. It just naturally emphasizes all your best features, Like if there's that one day you get a pimple that's just like in your face, like, that's not a true representation of you all the time. So again, like, do what makes you happy. Wear makeup, don't. Most of the time, I honestly don't even always wear makeup when I'm just wanting to like lounge around or just going to work out and things, or, things of that nature. But doing makeup is so fun. I've loved it since I've been, I want to say again, 14, 15. And that's when I went all out buying these like the more, high-end makeup products. And even the Too Faced isn't highest end or anything. But for me, now on a budget, during and after college, I try to make sure to buy more affordable things. And the drugstore has so many good makeup products. Like, really don't sleep on those. Like, they're really good. So here we are after the contouring. With the bronzer, of course, I want to add again. I want to say, I just feel like you can never get enough. Like, I might be here for 10 years doing this, and I'll just keep going because you can never get enough. Do you see that? Like, especially, again, on camera, it's not doing it full justice, but in person, oh my gosh, like, each layer, it's just so magical. And that's what you want. You want your makeup to have depth and dimension. That's what we're doing. It's like painting a canvas. I graduated with a graphic design degree, if I can speak, a graphic design degree. Just heavy focus on, the fine arts, of course. I was in painting classes, illustration classes. I first started my entire, love for art with painting and drawing. So painting was where I really initially started. But I figured, hey, graphic design could be a good way to, learn more about tech, get into that world, secure a job quicker possibly. But fast forward, I've graduated in May of this year, 2024. The job market's been a little tumultuous. You know, I don't know. I can't say if that's just like the economy that we're in right now, or, you know, again, it's a highly competitive job field that I'm aware of. But, you know, y'all gotta help a girl out, you know, just help a girl out a little bit. I'm trying to elevate your business. But that's neither here nor there. I've been pursuing my own company, my own business, if that's a better word. And I've been doing commissions here and there, logo work, like illustrations, paintings, things of that nature. And I love it. So if that's maybe the road I'm meant to go down more, then so be it. But I also love pursuing this side hustle of doing YouTube. I've always wanted to. Like, when I say I've always wanted to, this has been one of my biggest dreams. And the fact that I'm able to even record right now with my phone that I've bought myself, the tripod I bought myself, and having a sister that lets me borrow her light, and then everything else that just comes together, all the makeup I've bought, all that hard work you've put in throughout the years really does come together, and it just sets you on this, like, this staircase of just going up and up, because when you put in the work, you will reap what you sow, you know? And I'm very optimistic and confident in my abilities, and I trust where I'm going. I put my trust in God, and, you know, I just go where things go. And I want to say, like, you know, discussing God, I'm never forcing my beliefs or on anyone. I grew up Catholic, so that is very much ingrained in me too. So, you know, I love when people, you know, believe what they want to believe. Can you see the dust of the baking powder? Or setting powder. I don't know why I call it baking powder. It's the same thing. I've always been spiritual and believing in the universe, but honestly, I got to an age where I just decided to combine both, and not in a blasphemous way. Like, to me, the universe is God. God is the universe. It's all in one. So I don't follow religion nowadays. I just want to clarify. I believe in God. I believe in the higher power that's out there. I'll just give it that name, God. You know, that's, to me, is just what the universe is. So I believe in the universe's powers and all. And as you can see, I did a quick blush. So what I did, actually, I used the e.l.f. blush. It's the primer infused blush in Always Rosy. And this is amazing. I love the color. It's like a warm terracotta color, I would say. And we're going to get a little more heavy-handed, but, like, you cannot go wrong with blush because it really does, like, fly off your face throughout the day. So if you hear any chewing in the background, that is my dog going ham on his toy that I got him for Christmas, so he loves it. He loves it. So that's the blush situation. I'm going to get close. And you can see, I mean, texture is going to be there. Texture and those things. This camera's amazing, too, so you're just going to see those details. But, like, it's already looking good. It's a good base. And I like the brightness under my eye and the T-zone. That's, like, what we're going for. Let me get my dog to not be moving my tripod. Toby, go over there. Go get him. Go get him. Okay. Situation averted. Now, this is where it gets slightly tricky. I spent 25, I want to say 30 minutes on my base because I'm not including the time I had on my camera. It's either I use this highlighter, which is the Diamond Glow. I couldn't even tell you what the brand name is, to be honest, but it's a Diamond Glow in Champagne Glow. I used to have the Champagne Pop by Becca. That shattered. So we're using this. It's a really great dupe. I've got this in Los Angeles. And, like, look how cute that is. I'm gonna pose with it. Like, it's a little... It's definitely used and loved, as you can see. Not to completely block my face, but it's a good one. But this is, again, for a warm glow. Now, sometimes I want that cool tone. So depending on what you're going for, you're going to choose a warm tone highlighter or a cool tone highlighter. Sometimes I mix both because there's no rules. Have fun. This is just, you know, life is it's just, you're supposed to have fun, you know? But I will say I'm going to halt. I'm going to stop and take a second before approaching and doing my highlighter. And I think I'm going to decide on my eyeshadow first. Because also when I do makeup, it really is. I'm playing it, you know. I'm going as it goes. I'm going with the flow with it. I'm going with what feels right. And this is the palette that I mainly love to use. I was given this on a Christmas a few years back. It is the Morphe 35S Sweet Oasis palette. It's definitely, you know, a little worn and loved, but that's a good sign. It's a good sign. And so what I like to do also, I also have a wet paper towel to like wipe my fingers off. I will say I am very much like, you know, I wash my hands a lot, so I like to have a little, you know, wet towel to go in and like make sure I'm not transferring any dirt or dust or, you know, residue of other things here and there. So what I like to do is I'm going to take one of these brushes, and this one does not say what it is, but I believe I also got it at Sephora, so you can tell it's just kind of one of those eyeshadow brushes. I'm going to take the Alfresco shade in the Morphe palette. It's this one right here. Tap off the excess, go in and cover my lid with that. And it's a very nice nude base shade. And it's great for, again, adding a little more extra coverage. And it's kind of adding a nice base. It's kind of like gessoing a palette, gessoing a canvas. And it's a great way, you know. Okay, do you see, I still see how I have a little bit of pigmentation. Let me take a closer look with my compact, because this is the moment where you can decide if you want to do a little more concealer over the area or not. And honestly, in person, it looks better on camera. Like, it's just the texture. It's the raised effect of the scar. But you know what? That's beautiful. It doesn't matter. Own it. Okay. Also, back to the base shade. If you want extra coverage, I've noticed that if I take that same shade, Alfresco, put it on my finger, pack it onto my finger, and apply it to my lid, do you see, not to like have it crumble everywhere, do you see that difference from when I just used a brush and applied it? This was not the most graceful applying I've ever done. I think I got a little excited because I'm looking at myself. I will say this is a different challenge than just doing my makeup, you know, in a mirror. And if you get, you know, some over the place, you can fix that later. Okay, you want to do that. I may look into my mirror for a little bit more control. I'm going to go ahead and pack that on. Again, so I got some on my inner eye area. So what I want to do is go back with my bronzer brush and bronzer and go in and redefine that area. And it's just nice again to build layers, add more dimension. You can even go back in and like carve out your under eye and things. Okay. Do you see how there's some fallout under my eye right here? I'm going to take this brush and the bottom part, Godspeed, I don't know what happened to it, fell off somewhere. Just brush it off. This is the same brush we used to wipe off the bake. Now my dog's wanting to go to the bathroom. Don't mind him. He's an adventurous little fella. He likes to wander. So we have that nice base. Now, honestly, I think it's smoky eye time. I think it's time for a smoky eye. And don't mind me. I'm like kind of like moving around a lot. I just happen to have a lot of energy all the time. Maybe some undiagnosed ADHD. We'll never know. We don't know. And so I'm going to go ahead and take this, the same brush we used for the base color on our lid. And I took the sandbar color right here. It's like a nice warm brown. That's going to be the start of your smoky eye. I've learned that the best smoky eyes, you got to start again with that base color to serve as, you know, a better blender. And I'm going to do this again, I think, with the compact because I'm not trying to mess this up. You know, this isn't a very important step. Okay. Pack it onto the, do you see this? Right here on the edge of your eye. Blend it out. And again, this is a layering process. Makeup takes a long time if you really put in that work into it, you know? And everyone's different. Some people can go boom, 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 they're done. Even with the same exact, you know, like process. But obviously, since I'm talking to you guys through this, it's going to take me just a little longer than usual. And as you can see, I'm kind of dragging that brown out on the edge of my eye. Do you see that right there? You can also go in and blend it right here. Make sure it's nice and blended in the inner corner area. I want to say it's looking good so far. Do you see how this has more of like a lifted cat eye effect than this side? That's what you want. Exactly the effect you want. Again, I'm going in with more. I'm going to drag it out on this side. Even though it's a smoky eye, you still want that cat eye effect. That's what we're going for at the end of the day. For me, doing eyeliner is just a must. It just really solidifies any look. I feel like it just elevates it and makes it so much more glam. All right, we're going in. Nice, nice, nice. And if you ever feel like there's any harsh edges, you can always go in and use the excess on the bottom part of your eye. I hope I'm not blocking myself here. And again, like go in once you kind of like use the excess on your bottom lid. Now you really don't have enough product, or you don't have a lot of product left on the brush. And so you can go ahead and blend that out, make some seamless edges. Boom, boom, boom. And if you want to, again, build up more of that brown, pack more onto that edge. And it'll just really add to the creating the illusion of depth in the eye. We're just emphasizing what you had because we kind of covered that up again with all the makeup underneath. All right, just me blending. Blending, 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 blending. And it looks more pigmented in person as well. It's looking really good. Okay. And if there's ever areas you want to clean up, if you feel like you went too far or, you know, what have you, you can go back in with your setting sponge. Use that excess powder to clean up and carve out those edges. And then, you know, you will have to probably go back and retouch up your blush and things, but it's worth it for a cleaner eye look. I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. Okay. I'm going to add in some white. We're taking the Take Me Back shade in the Morphe palette. Same one as earlier. And I am placing it on my brow bone for that lift. Doing the same with the right eyebrow. Ooh, see, do you see how nice that is? It's almost 2000s inspired. It's like that really frosted brow that just like really lifts so nicely. And I love to take inspiration from, you know, past cultural phenomenons, if you will. So the 2000s, early 2000s is a great way to do that. So again, you can go kind of heavy with it. I mean, eventually you're going to have to blend it just a little more. But even having it slightly more defined, I really like. Because I think we're going to go back in and it's going to kind of get covered up anyway, especially once you do your brows and things. Okay. And just really to keep the lifted look, like keep it more lifted, you know? Do you see how it blends up into it? And even blending with your finger is some of what the greatest if I can speak, makeup artists do on their clients. So that's always a good technique. Gonna shut this door back. Okay. But do you see from even far away, like your eye is popping. Your brows are there. They're there to stay, you know? Okay. Now this is another moment. I'm gonna go back in with Alfresco on my finger and redefine that lid space, just like the front half, I would say. Stop when you're at the crease. Kind of blend the edge with your finger as well. Using your fingers are your best tools. Let's be honest, people. And the faces I make while doing this, please excuse that. That's just part of the process as well. Ooh, do you see that? Do you see that? And like, you can always go in with more layers if you want to define it even more. Okay. So I also like to jump around my face with the makeup. You can also go in with Take Me Back. Dot it on the top half of your cheek, the top of your cheekbone, right here. Because again, I am gonna go for that cooler, sultry night look. So really just playing up your features, like make those features pop. Do you see how boom, the cheek just comes out to play? And then you don't want to cut into that crease we did. Do you see how like elongates your eye to bring out the eyeshadow that way? And then also playing with the illusion even further to pull the highlighted cheekbone. So you have that really snatched fox eye effect. That's what you want. More of Take Me Back, which is again just a white shade, whatever works for you. It's so pigmented though in this palette. I love it. Go ahead and press that into your inner corner and lift upwards. That's the best effect. Now, sometimes some gets underneath, and that's a pretty effect too as well. I'm going to get closer if I can get it to focus. And that just really brightens the overall eye. Now to blend, you can use that setting powder brush to kind of make it more natural. You want a natural gradient in all of this. Okay, getting more and more snatched by the second, guys. Now place the Take Me Back shade, the white shade, onto the very tip of your nose. Just dragging out slightly. Not too much, just keep it in that center spot. Makes the tip of your nose pop. And now again, a little bit on the bridge of your nose. I'm gonna actually apply this using my compact so I can make sure I don't mess up the straight line, because that's happened to me way too many times. I will say this is tricky because my finger, you know, obviously your finger is not super petite. So if you want to cheat your way into the most thin nose effect, use a thin brush and just draw down that white line. That's what I do. Take a little bit more and just go in and draw that line. Okay, ready? This is tricky because if you mess it up, okay, I can work with that. You can always, again, go back in with your contour brush and kind of re-emphasize that line. I just got a text from my friend Lauren. Shout out, Lauren. I was actually telling her about starting my YouTube channel, so here I am doing it. I'm so excited. Thanks again to all my friends who have ever supported me. I love you all. Family too, everybody. Co-workers, you name it, everybody. Peers, teachers, all of the above. Okay. Do you see I'm going back in, adding more blush over that highlight that we did, because you still want to, again, blend it all. It's all about layers. Go back in, add more of that nose blush too, because I like that blush nose effect. Now I'm getting a little shiny again on my forehead, so go back in with more setting powder. That's really the answer, you know? So set it. Set it. Yep. That is the ticket. Blend it back out with that blending brush. Yes, honey, that's what you want. Again, touch up as needed. Like if you feel an area is not as blush as you want, you touch it back up. This is all layers. So sometimes I misplace things. Where did I? Oh, it's under the setting powder. So, and then, you know, I'm obviously making sure it's looking good in person, because again, on camera, it looks a little more brighter. And then just throw everything on the ground too while you're doing that. Don't mind me. I hope there's not too much showing on there, but okay. Let's see. I'm going back in, emphasizing my cheeks with the blush, the temples of my forehead, my nose, of course, and my chin. You want to hit all those high points for a natural, youthful appearance. Nice and glowy, rejuvenated, alive. Don't want to look, you don't want to look like those powdered donuts, So, let's see what's next. I'm going to go back in with the smoky eye. We're not done. Do you see how we jump around? Well, you can always, again, go back in with the white shade for your cheekbone. I'm going to do that too. Yup, yup, yup. Yep. On the tip of my nose. You can leave it unblended, I suppose, if you want like that harsh look. I'm gonna go back in more with on my inner corner. Yep. And again on the bridge of your nose, just tap that white powder. On your Cupid's bow. Oh yeah. Do you see that? And keep building more on your cheek. Give yourself that cartoon character glow. Now, right now it's looking, you still have to blend out the edges. You don't want it to be too stark. Your nose too, blend out the edges. Just the edges to keep that center point more concentrated. Yes, you want to be glowing from miles away. Now I'm using Love Struck in this palette. It's this shade right here. Tapping some on my brush. Again, I'm kind of pushing the brush. And blending that into my highlights so I have more of a dimensional blush color. So it went from that terracotta to that light blush. So to get more of that pink into the cheeks, and it really just rounds out the appearance of the blush all around. And it's just a gorgeous look. Kind of dry it all around. You can even put it, more on the tip of your nose as well. Love it. Going back with that eyeshadow brush, I'm gonna re-deepen that brown. Same with the other side. Drag it out a bit. Now, take more of the sandbar color and apply it under your eye. Tie it all together. Same with the other eye. Well, and you can even connect it up that way if you want. Yes. That's exactly what you want. I kind of just love that color like that, but this is a smoky eye. We're wanting to go more smoky, right? It's a night look. Gotta have fun with it. So I'm going to be taking the Shady Spot shade right here. It's more of, like a chocolate brown. A true darker chocolate. I mean, still, milky, but, darker. And you want to apply it again just to that edge of your eye. You can see what I did right there. Same with the other side. Only to the edge. Now take the excess before blending. Go under your eye. And again, focus on the outer corner of your eye. Like so. Like that. And honestly, I'd say the further down you blend, the bigger your eye can look. You don't want to get too carried away where it makes you look like you have, raccoon eyes necessarily, but now you want to blend out the darker shade into that original sandbar shade. Okay, yeah. Exactly what you want. And then, you know, slightly kind of push it into that center point. And then into the outer swoop. Yep. And this is, again, a digestible look. So it's not going to be like that Instagram 2016 super cut eye look. This is a very much wearable look. I kind of still like, again, it has a natural approach to it. Again, if you want to get crazier, you can always go in with black and go even more intense. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at this. I'm enjoying how it's looking. So also, you can always redefine the crease of your eye with the alfresco shade. Go back in, clean that up. Almost like imitating a cut crease. But not quite. Just brightening it. Not to go in too much into your inner corner shade, just keeping that bright. Do you see that? Yep. Beautiful. Now, I will say I've lost my favorite eyeliner brush because I like to do a powder eyeliner. Doing the liquid eyeliner is just a whole other beast. It takes a level of patience that I don't know if I've acquired with that specific, you know, step in my routine. I've tried it actually the last time on Christmas, and it took a lot of Q-tips to fix the result that happened from, you know, trying that out. So I will be taking a different palette to do my eyeliner. This is an old one, the Smoked Urban Decay palette. So I don't know if you guys know this. It may be ancient, but my aunt got me this Christmas years ago. And at the time, I didn't really wear heavy makeup. So I was like, these are some bold colors. This is some rocker vibe right here. And little did she know, and little did I know, that I would be so drawn to this color palette in the future. Somewhat of a rocker aesthetic here and there, you know? So I've actually never used this brush. So again, Godspeed. I hope it works beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and coat that brush, just rolling it around in the blackout shade. Tapping off the excess. Taking the mirror right here and drawing a line upwards. And I say that with that hesitancy because this is my first time using this brush. And that is scary when you're doing eyeliner. So far, so good. I mean, that's a beautiful little wispy thing. Sometimes I go really heavy with the eyeliner, right? I don't know if this brush would do that for me. Fun fact, this is a oil painting brush that I use because the other one went missing. It went rogue, it grew legs, it walked away. However you want to put it, it's gone. Now I hope to find it. It was my favorite, but it's just an elf brush, so I can always repurchase, no issue. Was it a little bit of an issue on Christmas? It made me sad, but you know, it's fine. We may do. Now what I'm doing is taking the eyeliner, the powder to make the eyeliner, and going under my eye as well. Just lining under my eyelashes. Connecting it up to this wing portion. So far, it's like a baby wing. You can always really like kick it up and sharpen the edges too. Yeah. Kind of want it to be more of like a bigger wing. So you can keep just dragging it out to your heart's extent. I think even wetting the brush gives you a more intense effect, and sometimes that's what I want. It does take more patience, but the outcome is definitely worth it. Now, if the liner ever gets a little messy, you can always clean it up again with some setting powder. So we will be doing that in a bit. And for my eyebrows, I do want to fill them in a tiny bit. So I'm going to use, sometimes I just use my eyeliner brush and then I'll fill in my eyebrows. And do you see, I like to jump around my entire face because that's what I do in my artworks and my paintings. So it's just natural to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the backdoor color. It's more of a dark brown and that's, you know, it aligns with my roots. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw in the edges of my eyebrows. And I kind of pinch my hairs into place as I go. So I do that and I just focus on the tail of the eyebrow initially. Like that. Making sure I'm showing you guys a good visual. And then I'm drawing in the front tail of my eyebrows ever so slightly. With the slightest bit of powder. And as you can see, there's like a chunk that's still sparse. Take a little bit more, but like not too much. And draw it in. Just filling that in. And I find powder to be more forgiving. I used to love the Benefit. It was like the brow. I forgot the name of the product, but it was a Benefit product for your eyebrows. It's like a little stick you can twist up and down with the spoolie on the other end. It was heavenly. I think it was like the Foolproof Brow, something like that. And again, I always want to define my tail the most. So I go in and add more until my tail is nice and dark. How's that for a brow? And I have, again, naturally more of a thick, feathery brow. So I go in and with a spoolie, a clean spoolie, and I kind of brush the excess around to make sure it's not just concentrated in one area. Brush my eyebrow upwards. And I'll use a gel if I'm feeling, you know, spunky that way. Look at the difference. And again, it's all, again, like the final look is what really comes together and gives you the look you want. Going in with my right brow. Carving out that shape. And staying within those stray hairs. Because if you filled in where I have those extra hairs, oh, your brow would be looking, let's just say, it would look very boxy. So we don't want that. I'm just going to go in. Again, with that shade. Boom. Drawing in the front a bit. Perfect. Perfect. You know? Look at that. I'm going to go back in person, judge how dark I want this eyebrow. Yep. Okay. Wow. I really do. I am liking this brush. It's funny because it's an oil painting brush, but I mean, we're our own canvases, so same difference. I like that. I love it. Now back to the wing. Roll that back into the blackout shade in the same palette. And again, line the top of your eye. Boom. I'm liking that. I'm going to clean it up in a second. And I'm going to keep it less harsh than other times that I do an eyeliner. Sometimes I'll go in again, I'll wet the brush, make it more defined. And I love that look too. But just not for tonight. Tonight will be a different vibe. Also, before I go into the other eye, I have this Maybelline Tattoo Studio white gel liner. I like to line the inner waterline of my eyes. As you can see, I'm going to come in and show you guys in a moment. And this just gives you the most beautiful open doll eye effect. As you can see, look at the difference. My eye's a little irritated because I did get it inside it a little bit, but you can see the difference. And from far away, not a huge difference, but in photos, trust, there's a difference. In person too. In person, the difference is insane. And what I like to do is pull my lid down so I'm not stabbing my eye. Kind of, the moment I was moving around and focused on the angle, that's when I kind of got into my eye. Perfect. Maybelline and NYX are really those top dogs at drugstores. They do their products well. So now I have both of those. Do you see even without the other makeup, like without the eyeliner? Wow. So let's do the other eyeliner. I'm so excited to have like the full look complete. It's gonna be a good one. Opening this palette, for what reason, I don't know. We're going back in with the Urban Decay palette. Shade Blackout once again, and doing the other eye. This wing really went in more this time. I love it. I think this brush helps me blend better than the other one. So this is kind of an amazing discovery. This is where it's at so far. We want it to get darker, of course, so I'm gonna continue building the layers, going under my eye as well. And we are back after switching from this camera to my iPhone to back to this camera. So to finish off the makeup look, I am going to be doing my final touches on the wing. Honestly, I still feel like I didn't fully get everything I wanted on that. Going back in with Blackout, really defining that wing. Same with the other side. Going under my eye. And if you want, you could always smoke out that bottom lash. Totally up to you. Now I will say there's a spot I want to clean up on this eye, the right eye. I'm just gonna sponge into there. Clean that up. Clean the other edge up. Okay. Honestly, I think I want to go in with a Q-tip. Quite possibly. Unless, you know what, I can make it work. If you ever feel like there is a slight mistake, you can always technically just make it thicker. This honestly, I will say, is like my go-to going out look. Yep. Now I am gonna get a Q-tip because this side, it matters. It matters. So what I did was take a tiny bit of some micellar water to clean up the edge. And then once you do that, he's over there chewing on my clothes. My dog is. Come in with your foundation sponge and fix up the edge. Let's see. Ooh. I think I got some. I think that's looking good. Oh yeah. Look how nice and sharp that's looking. And again, you can go in more with more of the eyeshadow to clean up those edges. And not to block your guys' view, but I am very much dialed in. Ooh. Sometimes the lashes can get away of the bottom part, but just make it match on the other side, and that's really the best strategy. Okay. I think again with this side, I want to clean it up a little more. It's always the edge of this eye. I'm not sure why. It's just a weird angle, I suppose. I had folded clothes on my bed and my dog just went into them. Toby, no. Give me one moment. No. Bad boy. Okay, I'm back. He likes to chew. He's still little. Okay, again, as you can see, we need to fix those edges. So you can go back in with your blush shade and then fill in as needed, since we cleaned it up with my micellar water and setting powder. And I'm going to take a look in the compact to see how it's looking. Okay. Any spots that you feel like may be too harsh, you can always again dial back down with the setting powder. And then go back in, set any spots that may be getting shiny. Sometimes when you let the makeup sit though, it looks incredible. Going back in on the areas that get shiny for me. And then, as you can see, my lips are hydrated as well after using the Vaseline. I have run into an issue. I feel like it's going a little over my lip more than I want it to. So I'm gonna just clean it up with the edge of the sponge. Do you see that? It's pretty funny. I don't even know how I did that. I think it's because Vaseline just kind of goes all over the place. Ooh. Normally it's no issue, but the fact that it was after this, what's it called? The lip liner makes a difference. Okay, Dropping things. Okay. I'm going back in with that brush to clean up the edges of my lips. I'm gonna use that liner again to redefine the edges cleanly. As you can see, it's more well defined again. I'll use my powder sponge to fix the edges. Perfect. My dog wants to go in the bathroom again. Honestly, I might use this liquid lip. I feel like this could be fun. It's a more of a nude pink shade. And over the Vaseline, it's a nice touch, I feel. I want more pinks into my lip again. So to make that balanced out, I may just use a red. Well, I'm gonna be honest, the lip just settled into my lip. So I'm gonna take this off. Troubleshoot, go back in with the liner. It fell on the ground. And then reline my lips while filling in the gaps. And it's the same shade of Dusty Rose. I will say I've been filming for a little over an hour, and while I love it, my legs are starting to hurt. This is not a complaint. This is just me stating the reality of things. Let's see. But, you know, beauty's pain. It's alright. Let's see. I got back into watching Emma Chamberlain, and I've been actually also watching Tana Mojo again. Sorry if that Vaseline looked weird there. Definitely a little glossy. This time we're gonna hope it doesn't, you know, wanna like rub off all over my face. But now we're gonna use a setting spray. Sometimes it's crazy. I'm scared to use setting sprays because they have oil in them. I said oil, alcohol in them. And while my skin is more oily, sometimes I just don't want it to, you know, be more, you know, I don't want it to go into the aging process. I don't want it to cause any of that. So I'm a little hesitant sometimes. But if you do want to get a little extra matteness, sometimes I use the Maybelline Superstay powder. Again, with my powder beauty blender. And tap that into the areas I want more coverage and matteness. And it usually does all that. Hello, so my phone storage was full for a moment, so I had to delete a few videos. I transferred the original footage to my laptop. We're all good for now. So in that case though, I will hurry up and do my lip liner. So this is the, let's see. This is the Maybelline Color Sensational Lip Liner in the shade Dusty Rose. So as you can see, I'm kind of just going in and lining my lips kind of all around. And my lips look really dry right now. So what I also like to do once I apply the lip liner is go in with some Vaseline. I will be right back. Shout out to my mom for this mini Vaseline container. Go in with some of that. Right over. And that takes care of the dryness. Now, once that settles in, we can decide if we want to do a gloss still. But to finish off the eyeliner, I'll be right back. I am back with the palette. I'm going in and making it a little darker. I'm back. I'm gonna finish up this makeup look with, I'm gonna do my mascara. You know what, actually? I'm gonna go back in with the shade. These shades right here. So I can brighten up my cheeks again. And my brow bone. Bones, as in plural. My inner eye. My inner lid corner, eye corner. And then my nose. Cupid's bow if possible. Okay. I'm gonna take a look in my compact to get the full scope. I'm liking that. Okay. Perfect. I'm gonna go in a little bit more with it again. Very as microscopically as I can on the tips of my nose and the bridge of my nose. It's hard to get it on the very tip of my nose, I will say. Contour it up. Yep. Okay. A little more again on the cheekbone. Again, these final steps really elevate the makeup look. Okay. Blend it in with your blush brush again. And that will have you set for success. I'm gonna go in with the setting powder again to fix my under eye. There's a bit of fallout that happened on this side. Okay, perfect. I think that's exactly what I want to see. This is me rebaking my nose because it really does snatch your nose even further when you bake the edges. Like so. Beautiful. Now you want to finish off with mascara, bottom and top lashes. I will be doing that for you guys. Now the trick is not to mess up your mascara while doing this. I love the Maybelline that's a tongue twister. Lash Sensational Full Fan Effect. That is my favorite, and it will remain my favorite. And then my compact, here it is. Okay. This is the part where I go into a Zen mode. Fun fact, it is, I don't have the clock on me, but it is 12, I want to guess 12:30 in the morning right now on a Saturday. And just to keep it completely transparent with you guys, I will be working tomorrow in the morning, and I will probably just wear this makeup. Normally, I would never advise to sleep in your makeup, but if it's like fully fresh and you sleep on your back, it's kind of a life hack. And then you could just touch up with powder in the morning in case you get oily. Again, for my oily skin girls out there. Do you just see how the lash just really elevates the look? Yep, yep, yep. Sometimes, again, you gotta go and do layers because you don't want it to look too clumpy. That's the word. My eyes are starting to water from keeping them open. And then you want to fan out the ends of the lash to get a cat eye effect. As so. And now for the other eye, I'm going to go in. And again, the faces you make are just inevitable. That's just part of the mascara journey. And the reason why is to avoid getting it again on your, the faces. The upper lid and such. And let me know if you guys want any specific content from me. I would also love to film, you know, questionnaires. Maybe an Omegle-like video of me talking to people online. Or anything else that you guys would find fun. This is something I want to continue doing and building and growing. I want to share more about myself with you guys. This is something that I want you to be able to watch. Whether it be just really one-on-one, you and me, or if you want to add background noise while you're doing another task. Because I love body doubling as much as the next neurodivergent person, you know? Or anyone. I'm sure everyone likes that too. I'm going ahead, finishing this side up. You want to make sure the lashes are just balanced and have the most emphasis on the outer corners of your eye. But yeah, people have been watching lately who inspired me were Emma Chamberlain, Tina Mojo. Dare I say, this, maybe I won't mention their name, but they were a huge beauty guru. I don't approve of, you know, some of the problematic actions or anything, but they were very good at makeup and what they did. And that's all I'll say for now. Tina too. So many people have been canceled, and then Trish is making her comeback. And not to get into talking about other people, but just to say people who, they've made it in this game, you know? And that's something that's not easy to do. I will say, you can always, again, use that last residue to do another layer. To touch up any missing spots. Hitting those ends so they're really, you know, intact and have a clean finish. And you see, like, thankfully for these lashes, I don't need to do, you know, and I hope the camera has been focused. I kind of keep getting even closer and closer. And this one isn't an autofocus, so I'll just stay back here for now. It's my first video, so I'm hoping, again, I learn over time, get better equipment over time. And now you want to take, again, that last residue and apply it to your bottom lashes. Now, if you want a heavier effect, you can definitely dip back in for more. But if you wait and build up, do you see how it's like a nice Beautiful effect. The extra shadows it adds, the dimension it adds to your eyes. I would say I'm so pro bottom mascara. It's not funny. The only issue is when it smears. And again, I will say this mascara does smear for me personally. But I don't want to use waterproof in case, you know, it's more, I've heard it's harsher on your lashes, could break them off. I don't know for a fact, but that's what I've been afraid of myself. I've always wanted to try tubing mascara too, because I heard that's really good and really cool. But I can't decide what's like a reliable brand to go for. So if anyone has any recommendations, I'd love to know. And also, don't you get that New Year's Eve vibe from the look so far? I'm still touching it up, but I know you guys see the vision. And I will say, since I'm talking, I'm a little more, you know, it's a little more, also the mascara has touched more edges than I've wanted to, but that's all right, you know, happy accidents. Again, circling back to Bob Ross, just to, you know, make that complete 360 in this video, bringing it back to him towards the finale. I love this. This is the look I love. It's a look that's timeless. It takes you places. I'm getting closer to this mirror to make sure. It's exactly the appearance I want. Yeah. And I don't put too many layers, so it's not, you know, mega clumpy at the end. But wow. I was also watching a Nora earlier today. I think I have just like a few minutes left of it. I know some people find it sacrilegious to just stop and not fully finish watching a video, but I'll pause in between, I'll do other things. I'm just always wanting to keep my brain busy with different things. So let me get the final verdict. I honestly love it. I'm going to take a spoolie and make sure I have no mascara accidents, because that really just takes away from the full thing. Alright, so I'm not sure when it stopped recording, but that's alright. It's the first YouTube video. So here's the final look. I hope you guys enjoy. As for my hair, it's not really styled right now. I just put some leave-in protein gel, styling gel, and this is what I have. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you watching me. If you made it this far, leave me a white heart emoji, and thank you so much again. Stay tuned. Let me know what else you guys want to see below. See you guys.